The show's called. The show's called. The show's called.
Dying laughing.
The show's called. The show's called. The show's called. The show's called.
Dying laughing.
The show's called. The show's called. The show's called. The show's called.
Dying laughing.
The show's
Morning,
called.
O.
Hey, welcome to another episode of Dying Laughing. I'm O,
And I am Tim.
and we are officially back in the building.
On Saturday morning.
Yeah, it's a Saturday morning.
It's almost Saturday afternoon.
Yeah, it took so darn long to get going here.
What caused that, O? What do you think slowed us down?
I don't know. It could be faulty equipment.
Could have been. That might have been it.
I don't know. We might have had a drink.
I think it was your breakfast beverage.
I can't even
It
get it
was
out.
V8.
It was a breakfast beverage.
It wasn't coffee.
Wasn't coffee, but it definitely had vitamins in it.
It had vitamins and minerals and
All the good things we
all
need.
the things that you need. And
for
iced
cancer
tea
iced tea
and V8 splash.
and a healthy dose of
Some type of mineral water.
mineral water, like
Yeah.
might have been
Some type of Russian mineral water.
Russian.
Yeah.
yeah. It
There's-
starts
I
with
think
a V, I
Might have been
think.
made from a potato.
Might have been made
Potato
from
juice.
potato juice. Starts with a V.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Potato juice?
did I say potato juice?
Well, you said it starts with a V.
It starts with a V. All right, so
This is why we shouldn't do this on weekends.
probably not. Anywho, we're here again, and we're going to talk about some good stuff.
Yeah, we are.
First things first, it's Jesus, I'm lost.
This week in cancer, oh, that's what's coming up first.
This week in cancer.
This week in cancer.
So we had a lot going on in the last 2 weeks. We're going to spend a lot of this episode is talking about the Light the Night walk that we were at in York on October 4th.
Yes.
So a lot of that, we're going to talk about that. So that's a big bulk of This Week in Cancer, but we're going to get to that.
Exactly.
But first, what else has happened, in your life recently that would have something to do with this?
Well, for me, this week has been kind of chaotic.
Okay?
I returned to some form of what they call working.
Mm-hmm.
And just trying to get my hands around it, see if I can handle it.
Yeah.
Still dealing with the fatigue aspect of it. It's been okay. It was great to see all the people.
Yeah.
Again, they were all, "Oh, you look so great, for cancer." I thought, here we go again. Things you shouldn't say.
Right.
But anyway, it was nice to see everybody, kind of give them a visual update mixed with,
Right.
They got most of the information via email or just phone calls, but to see me,
I ain't dead yet.
yeah, I ain't dead. I'm doing good. I'm still here. So that was kind of cool. Spent some time with my little one.
Nice.
He's in kindergarten. I had a parents-teachers conference, and I'm like, what the hell? Do you have a parents-teachers conference for the kindergarten?
Right. What are we conferencing on? Does he not know how to
he's not
share?
been coloring well.
He's way out of the line.
He's way out of line. He doesn't know his alphabet. But anyway, that was a real emotional moment because he was doing excellent.
Nice.
He was actually doing extremely well. So that was cool, and he was super excited for me to congratulate him and letting him know that he's doing well in school.
Those good parent-teacher conferences are great, aren't they?
Yes, they are.
So I always had nightmares about going to them with my kids because mine were not great.
Well, my oldest son, I could always tell because when the day came, his whole demeanor changed. It was always, I could tell what it was going to be like. If he was all like nonchalant, then it was going to be a good one.
Right.
If he was sweating bullets and acting all weird and start doing chores and being all
Trying to
helpful,
stack the deck.
Yeah, being all helpful, then it probably wasn't going to
I
go so
heard
well.
in 7th grade, my parents had to go to a parent-teacher conference with my English teacher. What was her name? Mrs. Patenti. I can't believe I remember that.
Yeah.
But my dad knew
It's a
her
tough
from teaching somewhere else. Like they already had a relationship.
Right.
And I had gotten it was a pink slip or something, like something that my parents were supposed to sign about my poor English grade that I absolutely 100% definitely forged.
You're a young
I thought
forger.
I dodged a bullet, right? I forged this paper. Mom and Dad don't know that I have a D in English, the language I speak. Right? I'm not
That's a
doing
good
well
point.
in the language I talk in
Yeah.
still. So I thought I dodged a bullet. I forged this thing and went away with it. And then they had to go to the parent-teacher conference. And I was terrified.
Yeah.
Like, man, they're going to know I forged it. I don't know. And God's honest truth, I still don't know if Mrs.
Dana?
Patente said that I forged this thing.
That's deep.
I don't know. So Mom and Dad, please either ground me or let me off the hook. I'm 42 years old. You've got to let this go. Tell me you know or you didn't, and we can move on.
The statute of limitations.
My sister and I were talking about that a couple years ago, about the statute of limitations on when you can start telling your parents stuff you did when you were a kid.
That's a good one.
Yeah, it
We
turns
gotta start
out
a whole new podcast for that one.
it turns out they can still get mad at you,
Obviously.
but they can't ground you anymore.
No.
But they're just as mad when you tell them I used to take the car out and drive around the lake to learn how to drive a stick.
They could
before
withhold
I
their,
had a driver's license and before the car was inspected and definitely not safe.
Well, they could withhold, kind of contacting you, but I don't know if they think that's a punishment.
That's not a punishment.
No, not at all. But
Sorry.
yeah. And anyway, it was a great week. I'm still here, still feeling good.
Yeah.
Not too many issues. Had a couple bad. You all have bad days.
Yeah.
When you're dealing with a situation where you might. I have we've said this before. My cancer's uncurable. I
Right.
still take chemo every day, so I still have some bad days.
Right.
And I'm sure everybody out there has some bad days, regardless of the situation, because it changes you.
Mm-hmm.
So, other than that, it's been pretty good. It's been a pretty good week in cancer for me. How about you?
It's been good, man. It's been good. I'm finally getting fit again, which I
Okay.
like. Yeah,
Okay.
I work out with a couple guys in my garage. I built a little, gym area in my garage that I vigorously defend from my kids overtaking it. Because any
and you
blank
got a lot
walls,
you got a
man.
small army.
I got a lot of bicycles in my garage. So like any
I saw that.
right, it's like a bike shop in there.
It is.
It's ridiculous. Like,
Everything's something. Like you got a shoe store, you got a bike shop, you got jackets. It's like a baby.
it's like the freezer section at the grocery store in my house. Like there's all food everywhere. But I vigorously defend. I built a squat rack and a pull-up bar, and I definitely like DIY'd it. Like the squat rack is built out of 4x4 beams. The hooks the bars are on are 45-degree inch pipe,
Okay.
plumbing pipes. So I DIY'd it, but it works. And this is my workout spot. And the kids come in and they put their bikes against it and they put their helmets in there. And I'm like, no, this is I got 6 square feet. That's mine.
Got a neon flashing sign
Back
going
off,
man
kid.
garage.
This is my 6 feet.
All right.
So I've been working out with these guys in the garage. It's been on and off, but like more consistently. And finally, for the first time since I've been sick, I benched over 225.
Okay,
which
man.
I haven't done in a
Congratulations.
long time. I got 227 up on Tuesday, and I haven't done that in a long time. And just a couple months ago, I couldn't do 135.
That's crazy. I want to cut you off for a second because that reminds me of the working out thing, because I've been working out.
Yeah, I noticed.
Well, thanks.
Looking pretty swole, bro.
Well, listen, thank you there, bro. But the funny thing is, at the support group, I was mentioning, we were talking about my situation.
Oh, right, yeah.
And the funny thing was, we got to me, and they were like, yeah, you shouldn't be lifting anything over 10 pounds, because of the multiple myeloma. And I'm like, dun, dun, dun.
10 pounds.
I'm like, 10 pounds? It was like, you could do more. I'm like, oh, I'm way over 10 pounds.
Yeah.
And they were looking at me all weird, and I felt guilty. Like I was sitting there, like I felt like I was being interrogated by the entire support group, and the light was on me.
Of very old women.
Of very old women, and you know what I mean? And so, point being is, they were like, well, you can do more. Maybe you can do more reps. Reps of 10 pounds?
That's not a lot of reps with 10 pounds.
I'm like, how many reps is that? Like 20K? I mean,
It's a lot,
how do you
yeah.
make 10 pounds work for you?
You can't.
But anyway, go ahead with your
You
story.
can't. We can talk about that, but that's a
Yeah.
whole other thing. Like, you need to be strong. Like,
Yeah.
you need to have some strength. And lifting 10 pounds as a grown-ass man is not,
It's not
going to
good.
do that. Even one that has multiple myeloma, whatever it is you got.
Don't worry about it.
The cancer you have, even so, like maybe you shouldn't be bouncing a barbell off your sternum.
No.
I get that.
No. Or
But-
trying to bench like 500 pounds or
right,
something.
you shouldn't do that.
Yeah.
Neither should I.
It-
Most human beings shouldn't do that.
My daughter whispered in my ear, Dad, you ain't got to follow all the rules.
Right, yeah. Some of them you can't. And some of it's based on exercise physiology from the 50s. Like these are the people that like, because that's when a lot of these folks were around and young and exercising.
Exactly.
You know, they had that machine that you sat in with the strap and it shook
it,
things, and you're holding your margarita. Like that was exercise
That
for
was
women in the
weight loss.
50s. Yeah, that's not going to work. But lifting heavy weights, man, like it gets you strong.
Right.
And stronger people are harder to kill and more useful in general.
Okay.
Right? So
Yeah.
that's what we want to be.
I wanna
and
be
we
stronger.
especially have to be stronger because we're already in that not quite as hard to kill anymore phase.
Yeah, we're in that range or that group.
We've got a couple things against us
That's
in the
working
not
there.
hard to kill department.
So to all those folks out there, once again, I'm not telling you if you're a multiple myeloma patient to start going out there
Right.
benching 200 pounds. I'm just saying that's what I choose not to do.
Right.
I'm going to go ahead and do what I got to do
Lift
because
the
I want to
heavy
be
weights.
strong.
Yeah, it's a good idea to
yeah.
lift heavy things. I mean, geez, your son weighs more than 10 pounds.
Exactly.
You probably have to pick him up.
I would like to.
Yeah, right?
He probably would like it.
So that was good. I went for a bike ride on Thursday. And I really wanted to get 40 miles in, but man, it gets dark so fast now.
Yeah.
I couldn't believe it. Like I got to be about 2 miles from home, and I can't see, and I'm sure that the people behind me can't see me, so I'm gonna go home. Like I'm not gonna beat cancer and get hit by a truck.
Right.
I'm not gonna do it, right? Especially because it was something I did that was dumb. But I went out with the intent of killing these 2 segments in my area.
Okay.
Right, so I'm on this thing called Strava. Shout out to Strava. You want to sponsor us?
Sponsor?
Strava is
money.
like the social network of endurance sports, cycling,
Okay.
running, swimming, that kind of stuff.
Got you.
So they have thousands and thousands and thousands of people on there. And there's segments that you can say, like this section of road, you know, from here to here, this is a segment. And you measure yourself, how fast you went across that segment compared to everyone else that's ever done it.
Oh, okay.
And compared to all of your efforts.
Got you.
Right, and I have this little thing on my computer, on my bike, a little computer. It's a GPS, and it's hooked up to Strava. And when I get to a segment, it says "Go," and then it tells me how far or ahead I am of the next guy in line that I have to beat.
Oh, that's dope.
Yeah, so it's pretty cool. So there's 2 segments. One was called the River Road Time Trial,
Okay.
and I wanted to crush it. I wanted to throw down and crush it, and I did.
Okay.
I nailed it. It was so good. And I beat my PR by almost 30 seconds, I think, which is a big deal over just a handful of
I'm
miles.
doing an air patch.
Air high
on
five.
Yeah, air high
Good job.
fives.
And I felt super about that. And the other one that I wanted to crush was this hill right in that area called Schultz Road.
Uh-huh.
And Schultz Road is like my least favorite hill. I hate climbing it. I hate it. I'm not built for climbing, man. I weigh 191 pounds. Gravity does not help me when I'm going uphill. But I can do better than I did the last time. I knew that because the last time I was suffering, riding the struggle bus all the way to the top of this hill. And I wanted to crush it. And I got on and I started going and I'm looking at the screen and it said I was like 20 seconds ahead of this guy. I was going to get it in like 5:40 something, which is 20 or 30 seconds faster than my best time. So this is going to be great. And then all of a sudden the screen disappeared.
Huh.
And it just went to the regular screen. And there's no GPS. There's no segment up there. To me. I said, I'll figure it out.
Right.
Yeah, I'm sure it's just a thing with the computer and no big deal. I get back home. When I stop the bike, I hit save ride on my computer and it goes to my phone. It says, your ride is saved. Do you want to view it?
Right.
So I pull it up on Strava where I can see all the segments. And I pull up the one PR on the time trial. Yes. And I go down. I know Schultz Road should be the next one. And it wasn't there. What happened to Schultz, man? Like I was crushing it and the GPS messed up. I looked on the map and I was in the field off to the right.
Wow.
So that was annoying. But I know I did really well. And I know because the last time I climbed it, like I was in my lowest gear and just like dying on the way up, like just barely turning the pedals over.
Well, overall, like I said, it's just been a crazy week.
Yeah.
I don't want to get super long-winded with it, but your GPS story reminded me of the express lanes, highway express lanes, and there's this new technology that I've seen where they have a cop car that rides on the express lane, but it's not manned. It's not autonomous. It's being controlled by a guy somewhere in an office somewhere, and he's driving it. He's got a gazillion screens around him. And the car has 90 million cameras like they're making a movie, and he's driving it without being in the car. And I'm thinking to myself, what's that for? Like,
How are you going to get pulled over?
how are you going to
that?
put, like, who the hell is going to stop for a cop car that doesn't have a cop in it?
Right.
Like, yeah, buddy. Yeah. Like, you pull up next to him and just be like, does this voice come out the car? All right, let me see your driver's license and registration. Could you scan it for me?
You're going to get a ticket in the mail is what's going to happen.
You're going to get a ticket in the mail. But it's just crazy where technology is. But I guess my point is as often as you get a drop call or drop signal, I would be heavily worried that there's a vehicle on the road being controlled by some Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, whatever kind of control.
Right.
And then the signal drops.
Right.
What's going to happen to that car?
Right. Yeah, really.
That's what I like to ask.
That's a good question.
But that's another story. But anyway, we're going to talk about.
Well, wait, there's another cool thing that happened.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's okay. You can cut me off, but I'm going to cut you back off. So yesterday, I was at the hospital again.
Really?
Well, for a good thing. I was.
You stay at the hospital.
I should live there. I should get a job there.
Maybe.
Hint, hint, Penn State. My resume's in. So I was speaking to 150 first-year med students.
Oh, okay.
So that was really cool. So I got to talk to these guys about my experience and what it was like on my side, because they know all the science stuff. Like they know way more about CAR T than I ever. They probably forgot more than I ever learned. But that was neat to be able to talk to them and have them laughing and get them to see what it's like from the patient side of things, as opposed to just learning how all the mechanisms work.
Okay.
So that was cool.
How many students was it?
150.
What did they go to Penn State?
Yeah, these are all first year med students.
Okay, gotcha.
I asked them if med school was like Scrubs, the show, and they all looked at me like they didn't know what Scrubs was. And then I realized that I'm much, much older than these guys are.
Well, like I said, it's
I think they said they watched it on Nick at Night.
Nick and
Oh yeah, it's on the reruns with Leave It to Beaver and Scrubs.
There's a lot of shows when you talk to these millennials, or I guess the younger ones are the Generation X. I guess that's
I think we're Gen X.
We're Gen X?
Or are we Gen Y?
Who knows?
I don't know.
One of those chromosomes.
Yeah.
Anyway, Light the Night, y'all. We attended the event. We participated.
We did.
It was an amazing evening, and I know we got a little long-winded there, but Light the Night was extremely... Tim just gave me the who gives a. It was an extremely great event. It was sponsored through the LLS.
Right, the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society.
And that was sponsored by a bunch of guys. And
so there's LLS things all over the country.
Correct.
Right, there's hundreds of them all over, and they raise
like the
millions.
nights all over. Yeah.
Yeah, they raise millions and millions and millions of dollars, all for the stuff that the LLS does.
Right.
So the research that they fund, the patient care they give, like all the stuff they do.
Some of the medicines you can get.
Yeah, like the medicine, the CAR T that I got was funded by the money that was raised by these Light the Night events. Right, a big part of the funding came from the LLS in this event. So there's hundreds and hundreds of them. And this is the one in Lancaster and York.
Right. And it was just a very emotional event. And not necessarily all doom and gloom.
I was hardly any doom and gloom.
No, it wasn't any doom and gloom. It was very positive.
Yeah.
But you definitely had a moment of reflection where you reflected.
Sure.
And I think that's the part of it that I might consider on the low end of not being happy.
Right, but it was even that was like
it was
more remembering and honoring the people that didn't make it, and being grateful that you were. Like the whole atmosphere was fun. There was music, there was games, there was pizza, there's
right. I even seen a couple guys out there in wheelchairs that looked like they might have been currently getting some treatment.
Yeah,
and they just, I guess they said, "Hey man, we want to be out there too." So it was all walks of life. All different stages of people dealing with, whatever they're dealing with, whether they were survivors, whether they're currently getting treatment, or they were folks remembering someone. And it was just a great event, and we got a chance to interview some of the folks out there.
So before we get into that, what was our roles with this? How did we get involved with LLS?
Well, how we got involved with it is
what happened was
we were at our support group, which is a stem cell transplant support group,
right?
And the LLS came there. There was a young lady by the name of Hannah.
Yep, we're gonna have her on,
and we're gonna have her on. And I can't quite remember the She had some funny colored hair, didn't she?
Hannah did, and the other girl did.
Yeah, the other. I don't quite remember her name.
Kelsey.
Kelsey. Yeah,
think
okay,
it
I didn't
was.
want to brutalize the situation.
I could be wrong, but I think it was Kelsey. I'm going to look quick, though. But I'm
You're
pretty
just gonna
sure
shout the name out on there and not even
Bertha.
sure. Margaret.
Sarah.
But anyway, they came to the support group. They spoke about the event they spoke about what the LLS does and all the programs that they offer. And in that moment of them speaking, they talked about this event coming up. So Tim over here is hero of the.
I was the honored hero, so I was already involved in them when they had come to the support group. I didn't know anything about the LLS at all. Like, even when I was sick, I didn't know anything about them. Like, nobody. I don't remember anyone telling me about them at all. But they called me in the wintertime, like right after it was cold. I think it was December or something.
Normally
like that.
winter is cold.
It was cold. That's how I remember it was cold. So it was end of the year, beginning of the year, around Christmas time, and called and asked if I could be their honored hero for the year, so the poster boy for the event. So I would be raising money and going to all these different events for them, like all these corporate events to try to get them to get the companies involved. And so I did that all year and raised a ton of money for them. I think we raised a little over $7,000.
Yep, that was great.
And I was the number 1 individual fundraiser this year.
Had to say that.
I did. And I was the 4th best team. Me and...
you notice the chemo has not killed his modesty
I
gene.
competitively fundraise now. So the 4th best team, the 3rd best team was Kim Albert, who we're going to talk to in a couple minutes here. And we had a little competition going.
Which is healthy.
Who was 3rd and 4th. 1 and 2 raised over $11,000. So I didn't think I was going to get there.
What was I can't remember. What was the total that they said we raised?
It was over $100,000.
Right.
Just for that one event.
That one event. So you can imagine taking that and multiplying that to the multitude of events that happen all over the country.
Hundreds of events that have all over the country.
Right.
You're talking millions of dollars.
Yeah, maybe even bigger than that, but definitely millions.
Yeah. So I was able to speak on stage and tell my story, and then
which was cool.
Thank you.
You did a great job.
It was neat to be up there. It was neat to see everybody there and see So what they did once the speaking's all done, they have people light the night is what they do, and they had these lanterns. There was 3 colors. There's white, red, and gold. And white was for people that survive cancers, right? Survivors. And O lit the first one. You kind of started that chain.
Correct.
So the survivors were first, right? We lit.
No, the
red
gold was first.
Gold is for the people that didn't win, right?
Remembrance.
Gold is for the remembrance of people that have fought cancer in the past and aren't with us anymore.
Correct.
So all these gold lanterns light up.
Correct.
Poof. And it's dark out, right? It's in the evening.
Now, this isn't like caveman lanterns, like,
they're
not torches.
They look like small hot air balloons with an LED light inside. So they turned it on. There was no fire involved.
It was safe.
Yeah, there was fireworks, but that was later. So they look like little hot air balloons on a stick. If like you can make a lollipop out of a hot air balloon, it would look like that. It was big. The thing was about the size of your head. Like it was a big.
Yeah, it was pretty big.
It was a big hot air balloon or a big lollipop. So they turned those lights on. And
that's the gold.
That's the gold one. And then we had the red ones, which was for just the people that were currently fighting. Right. Yeah. And then the white ones were for the people that were survivors.
Correct.
And then we all lit up, and there's a couple hundred. It must have been 500-600 people that were there.
It was a nice group.
Yeah. And everyone carrying one of these lanterns, one of these 3-color lanterns. And then we walked up to the Columbia Bridge on 462. They closed the bridge, which was very nice of them. Yes. We don't want to be fighting traffic.
And I must add that it was extremely chilly.
It was chilly. It was cold. I
even seen Caucasian folks cold, and that's normally not easy to do.
Yeah, we stay warm longer.
Sorry about that.
That's all right. So O went outside today and put on like a winter jacket. It's 52 degrees out. He's got a parka on.
I hate cold.
And we just went next door. Like, we didn't even stay outside long. Literally, it's like 4 feet. It's like, I got to get bundled up. It's chilly out. So we walked to halfway to the bridge, lit the fireworks off, and then we turned around. We walked back, and it was this thing that was frustrating. It was so cold because 2 days before it was 90. Right. Like, it was so hot. It was uncomfortably hot, and now like fall came like all of a sudden.
Yeah, it was a chilly night, and hopefully, what we're hoping to do is I actually have video of the event. So we're hoping to either put that up on one of our other sites and link it to this episode, and then you can watch it. And what I hope to do is maybe play the audio for you at some point.
Yeah. We'll put it on our YouTube channel. We have a YouTube channel, Dying Laughing Podcast on YouTube.
But yeah, so you can kind of get the gist of it. It was a great event, a very moving event. And we got a chance to interview folks that were in the crowd.
Yeah.
We got to interact with them. And it was just amazing listening to the different stories.
Yeah.
And just all the people who came out. It was like some people, it was their 18th year.
Yeah, they've been there for a long time.
Yeah, and then others, it was their first.
Yeah.
So like
it was
me.
my first. Yeah, I'd never been there before.
Yeah, like both of ours. But just a very great event. It definitely gives you a lot of encouragement, inspires you, and so forth and so on. So we got a chance to interview, like I said, 6 folks, and we wanted to let you listen to our first interview, which was with
Betsy Eshelman and her husband Ron.
Betsy Eshelman. I hope we pronounced that
I think
correct.
so. We got it close.
And
Close
so-
enough to know who she is. I caught up with her right as we left the venue walking up.
So here we go.
Yeah.
So you just tell me your name and all that stuff.
My name is Betsy Eshelman. I am 64 years old. I'm going to cry.
It's okay.
On Good Friday 2 years ago, I was diagnosed finally with non-Hodgkin's lymphoma. I say finally because it took them about 5 months for somebody to listen to the pain I had in my back. But I got my R-CHOP, which was nasty,
Yeah, R-CHOP is nasty.
at Andy Barshear Cancer Institute, and I'm here today with some things that are left over, no neuropathy and chemobrain and
Yep,
whatever,
yep.
but I'm here.
Good. Congratulations.
Thank you.
So what does this night mean to you?
Well, this is the first time I was able to get to this night
Okay.
because of my inability to walk very well.
Yeah.
Means a lot. I don't think I'm going to make it too far, but
Yeah, you're making it every step.
I am.
When I was first getting better, I ride my bike. And that was my first goal. I just want to get on my bike again. Just ride a little bit. And I did. I started a little bit, and the next day I went a little bit farther. Before you know it, you're feeling better.
And my husband, I said to him about, 4 months ago, I want to try to drive.
All right.
I'm tired of being stuck in this house, and got in my car, old car drove, and he got me a new car.
There you go. So when I was sick, I couldn't drive either. That's because I'm an idiot, and I didn't pay a ticket on time,
Oh no.
and my license got suspended.
Oh no. I don't know you well, but just where I heard up there.
It tracks, though, doesn't it? It makes sense. So what was your name again?
My name is Ron.
Ron, and you are
I'm Betsy's husband.
Betsy's husband. All right. So how was this for you?
Well, I tell you what, tonight's it's gratifying. It really is, just to see all the survivors, all the support, and
Yeah.
to see my wife here. Tim, to hear your story is just amazing. So it's just really to connect with people. It really is. It's just amazing. It's a great night.
It is a great night. This is the first time I've been here. It's really amazing.
And to raise all the money, for this, occasion, it's wonderful. It really is.
It's incredible.
It really
I
is.
belong to the A and B team.
All right, good. Well, good job, guys. Thank you.
Yeah, so that was Betsy and her husband Ron.
Yeah.
I
She
thought it-
was walking, man. She was like, she didn't know how far she was going to make it, but she wanted to get up that hill.
Yeah.
And like, I felt that. Like, I've been
She was
there,
determined.
man.
And the emotion she had in the beginning
Yeah.
when soon you started asking questions, she, caught herself trying to hold back the tears.
Yeah.
And I thought what was funny was how she said, finally, we found
Finally,
cancer.
someone listened to my pain.
Yeah, finally. So you can hear the desperation. And we've both been in that scenario.
Yeah.
Where they're trying to
What
figure out.
is this?
And what like trying to figure out what is wrong with me.
Yeah.
And then I thought it was cool that she said she wanted to drive because she wanted to get the hell out the house.
Yeah, I feel that too.
You know what I mean? And but she got a present out the deal. He didn't just get her a car; he got her a new car.
That's
so
awesome.
Good job, Ron.
That's awesome. Way to go, Ron.
So next we got Laurel.
Yeah, Laurel.
Laurel, and she was interesting.
Yeah, let's hear her story.
All right.
Okay, who am I talking to? Who are you?
I'm Laurel.
Hi, Laurel. What's your lantern?
Gold.
Gold. What for?
in memory of my mom.
Okay. So you've been here how many years?
18.
18 years.
Yes.
So that's when the lanterns were fire, right?
Pretty much. I was just saying that they were balloons. They used to pop everywhere.
You seem a little more robust.
Yes, for sure.
Than the popular.
For sure.
So, what's your mom's story?
Diagnosed in 2001
Okay.
with a form of APL.
Okay. And what's APL?
Acute pilocytic. I want to say it's a kind of like a form of ALL, but
Okay.
APL.
Okay.
Honestly, I work in pediatric oncology. We don't see APL, so I'm not 100% sure.
Okay.
But diagnosed in 2001, had like several relapses.
Okay.
And then got a bone marrow transplant from her sister, a 10 out of 10 match.
Oh wow.
And was in remission for 5 years.
Okay.
And then had some complications with her lungs
Okay.
and needed to get a double lung transplant.
Oh my God.
So from the chemotherapy,
Right. Yeah.
and then passed from complications from
Wow. Now, how old were you when she passed away?
that. 17.
17. And what role did that play in you getting into your career?
Oh, everything.
Everything, I'm sure.
I'm a pediatric oncology nurse, so
Okay.
it had everything to do with that.
So what keeps you coming back to this year after year?
This has just been part of my family. This has been part of my life for 18 years now.
Sure.
So I also walk in several other walks as well that
Okay.
are for pediatric cancer
Okay.
because they don't fund pediatric cancer like they fund adult
Which
research.
sucks, right? Because
Sucks. Less than 4%.
kids cancer is the worst.
Yeah, it is.
Like you must have a very special heart.
I
to-
do not. I
I
do it
don't
for them.
believe that. I'm sure
They're
that you
everything
get
to
paid
me.
for it, but
Yeah.
good Lord, to work with children with cancer takes a special kind of person. And
But this
You're
is
that.
amazing.
Yeah.
I mean, like, all of your story, and I love hearing about the card because I do that every day, and it's definitely further along in adult therapy.
Yeah.
So I hope to see that coming into what I do.
absolutely, absolutely. Any closing thoughts?
Keep fundraising, keep walking.
Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. Congratulations, by the way.
Thanks.
Awesome.
So Laurel gets into pediatric oncology. This is her career because her mom got sick.
Yeah, that's deep.
And she's still been coming to this event. You know, she's been there for 18 years, like, in a row.
That's crazy.
That's a lot of people, man. Like, and this idea or this thing of people getting into this because their parents were sick, this happens a lot. Like one of the kids I was talking to yesterday, after I was done, people come up and ask me questions, and he starts asking me how the kids dealt with me being sick, and I could see it in his eyes. Like, so
Right.
was it your dad? He was my mom.
Wow.
And what happened? Like, she died. And he just starts
let it loose.
bawling and telling me how he feels so bad that, you know, he couldn't be there more when he was in school and all this stuff. And like, man, you gotta like let go of that guilt.
Yeah,
like,
man.
that guilt will eat you alive. You're here now in med school
And that's
because of that.
right.
Like, you're paying this forward, and mom knows this. Like,
no, yep.
I don't know
That's the
everything
inspiration.
about the afterlife and all, but I'm pretty sure
She's on
mom's
top of it.
on board with where you're at now.
She's
So, like,
she's on the dean's list
let-
with you.
yeah, let that guilt go, man, because it'll kill you.
Yes, it
It'll
will.
eat you alive. But he was so passionate about, you know, what he wanted to do. It was awesome to see that.
Yep. You know, that's what all this is about. It's about being inspirational, and yeah, it was just she was a great inspiration when listening to her story.
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
So we got
Who's coming up next? Sarah Default is coming up next.
Sarah.
Yeah.
All right, let's listen to Sarah's story.
Listen to Sarah.
Okay, so first name,
Sarah
Sarah what?
Default.
Sarah Default. And Sarah, you're carrying around a white lantern, so tell me what you got.
I had acute promyelocytic leukemia. I was
Okay.
diagnosed in January of 2015.
Okay. And what was your treatment? And
Spent 5 weeks in the hospital at LGH on 8 Limes,
okay.
followed by the following until September of that was. So January through September. After I got out in February, then starting in March through September, I had outpatient treatment
Okay.
for until September. So.
And how long have you been in remission again?
Officially, I guess it's officially 2 years.
Okay.
Yeah.
Woo-hoo.
Yeah. They say I'm cured.
There you go. Well, good.
Yeah.
Cured is good.
Cured is good.
They haven't said that to me yet.
And this is 100%
That's fantastic.
fatal. It was 100% fatal.
Oh, that's not fantastic.
No, it was 100% fatal.
Right.
Until they came up with the treatment.
That's amazing.
So that's that.
That's amazing. That's one of the things that Ellie was saying. Like, I just want to stay alive long enough for the science to catch up with the disease.
Exactly.
Right? Because what's the death sentence 10 years ago
Right.
might be easily fixed
That's
10
right.
years from now.
That's right.
So if I can stay alive long enough for the medicine to catch up, that's going to be great.
Yep.
So what does being here mean to you?
It's. Put on pause.
Okay.
All right.
You can cry. It's all right.
It's hard to say you're a survivor when you see people that are carrying the gold lantern.
Right.
People that haven't survived.
That guilt is a thing, isn't it?
Yes.
It's
And
awful.
I'm proud to have funded research. That's
Yes.
for research, so that hopefully others will be cured.
Yeah. So fun fact, I remember Lauren when she was in high school, because I was the youth minister at the church.
Right.
We went to Steubenville, riding on that hot-ass sweaty bus. It was so bad. It smelled horrible, and you were snuggling up there with that boy who also smelled bad in the best of circumstances. And it's been great to be able to reconnect with all of you in spite of all of this. So thank you for sharing. I appreciate it. Thanks a lot.
So, Sarah.
Yeah.
Wow.
She goes to my church too. I see her pretty much every week when I'm there. And
Yeah, listening to her tell her story, certainly the one thing that stands out is that survivor guilt thing that she mentioned.
Yeah.
Towards the end of it, and got emotional. And we do apologize. You know, it was very windy. I told you it was cold out there.
Yeah, it was also very windy.
And it was very windy.
We're out on the bridge over the Susquehanna. Like, that's a mile-long bridge. It's a wide span of just nothing but a place for wind to funnel through.
Yeah, we do pride ourselves on good audio quality, but however, she got emotional. She asked us to turn it off for a second.
Yeah.
And we told her it was okay, to let that emotion out.
We said no.
No, yeah, we said no. That was really, now that I think about it, that was
Turn
horrible.
it off.
No. But, yeah, that's the thing. That survivor guilt, as our second episode talked about.
Second episode, yeah.
It's a real thing, and as you could see there, the emotion in her voice.
Still feeling it all these years later.
All these years later, so. Anyway, deep.
Who do we have next, though?
Up next is Jeff Tracy.
Now, Jeff Tracy is another guy that got CAR-T like I did, so it's exciting to see someone else down the line that beat this with the same medicine that I got.
Yeah, that was amazing, that portion of it, to run into somebody that did he recently get it, I think?
He got it about the same time that I did, a little before I did.
Okay. All right, so let's take a listen to Jeff's story.
Heck yeah.
All right, so let's start. What is your name, and who's the one that was sick and who wasn't?
Gareth here.
All right, so what's your name?
Jeff Tracy.
Jeff, what did you have?
I had non-Hodgkin's lymphoma.
All right, man. Welcome to the club.
Actually, it started out as CLL.
Okay.
And then I had a Richter's transformation, and it went to non-Hodgkin's lymphoma.
Lucky you.
Yeah, can't win the lottery, but I can.
You can do that.
Yeah.
Jeez, man. So how long ago was that?
2 years.
Years. Okay.
Yeah, I started my treatment in 2017.
Okay.
And then I was going down to UPenn.
Okay.
And I had a bone marrow transplant in January of last year.
Okay.
And that didn't work.
Yeah.
So then my oncologist down in Philly at UPenn, what I had done was called CAR-T cell
That's
therapy.
what I had.
Did you?
Yeah, man.
I like you.
Yeah.
I remember you. Yeah.
Yeah, nice to meet you. I was hoping I'd run into you.
So, my oncologist was on the research team that developed that.
Okay. Yeah, developed you.
Dr. Porter, yeah.
That's great.
Yeah, so
did you get the side effects?
you mean while I was in the
cytokine
hospital?
release and the neurotoxicity?
No, all I got was the high fevers, and that was
out.
it was like 103, 104, like 5 days. It wasn't constant.
Okay.
I would just put back device around me to bring the temperature down, you know. And
I got over 105
oh,
for a
wow.
couple days.
That's why I got the neurological, because
And then I got that too.
they said if you get the constant fever without any breaks, that's when the neurological kicks in.
Oh yeah, it kicked.
Yeah.
It kicked. So how long did you get the CAR T?
August of last year.
August last year. Okay. And what's the prognosis now? How's it doing?
I'm in remission. I get a PET scan done tomorrow, and it's routine.
Okay.
It's been a year. Dr. Porter said my blood works great.
Yeah.
Feels no lumps. I don't anticipate finding anything.
Yeah, yeah.
So life is good.
Life is good.
I mean, I actually going to be starting a job soon. I've been out of work for 27 months.
Yeah.
So yeah,
that.
it's part-time work. But it's something, you know.
Good,
That's what makes you feel normal.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Good stuff, right? Pay the bills. Dread it.
Yeah. Just a lot of people my age are looking forward to retirement. I'm just trying to get a job.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So life is good. I am eternally grateful for the support I have. Is incredible.
Yeah.
I mean, I had friends, like, you know, I was going down every week for a year and a half, and you know, some of them are just like I call them normal visits.
Mm-hmm.
So I had friends of mine who would take vacation days and take me down, so my wife didn't have to take a day off from work.
Right.
So yeah, the support I have is incredible.
It really
and
is.
you know, it makes it so much
All the
easier.
difference in the world.
Makes a
All
huge
the
difference.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, is this the first time you've been to this?
That's my third year.
Third year, okay.
Yeah.
So what does being here mean to you?
Well, it means when you look out and you see the white lanterns, it's inspiring and it's motivational.
Yeah.
When you see the yellow lanterns, it makes you realize that the research that they're doing is going to decrease those yellow lanterns every year.
Right.
And there's so many red lanterns. I mean, so many people are getting support.
Yeah.
And, you know, that's key. It's really key.
Cool, man. Thank you so much.
Sure.
It's good to meet you, Jeff.
All right, nice meeting you, Tim.
Absolutely.
Man, it was a great interview.
That was good.
Yeah, he had some good stuff in there.
In the background, those are the fireworks going off.
Yeah. They were like we said, they had fireworks and they were going off in the background. This was live.
Yeah, this was live.
Like this was very. It was very. I want to say authentic.
Oh yeah.
Because we were just running up on folks and.
Yeah, I was just surprised.
Like
I kind of
police.
was like,
Yeah.
hey, talk to me, and I throw the mic in their face and like.
But yeah, we were just walking up to people and just trying to capture an impromptu, real, genuine, authentic conversation.
Yeah.
But like he said, that was real powerful when he was talking about the reductions of the yellow lanterns.
Right, less and less yellow lanterns, man. That's the goal. Less
year.
yellow lanterns.
That's the goal, and to fill them with just white.
Yeah.
Maybe one day there'll be no lanterns.
That'd be something, right? Hopefully there's a day we won't need this thing.
We won't even need it. It'll be light the night for something else.
Something else.
Yeah. So ultimately, it's just it was a moving event. We got a couple other folks up. These two were sisters.
Yep.
One sister, I think her name is
Sheila Dombrowski.
She's the one that has the.
No, that's her sister. Kim Albert is the one that has cancer.
Correct.
And she and I were the one that were in the battle for third.
Correct.
In the fundraising department. So we were back and forth on Facebook and making fun of each other and sticking little jabs in.
And y'all were doing it actually at the event. They're still at the event being competitive, talking about I'm going to go grab $5 from somebody in this restaurant to.
Give me $5.
Yeah, to overtake the last highest.
It was
person.
close, and in the end of the day, it came down to I think it was a $200 difference. But between the two of us, we raised an additional $2,000 in 24 hours,
which was amazing.
Right, just by us, poking fun at each other on the internet.
Yeah, and so you understand your donations are super huge. They're very important.
Yeah, every dollar that we get makes a big difference.
And it really does go to, because there's a lot of organizations out there, and I'm not going to talk about other ones, but there are organizations. I mean, let's just face it. We're in a real world.
Right. It costs money to do this kind of stuff. Right. But you can find, I think it's called Charity Watch is the website you can look at or something like that, where you can see what the percentage of donations
Exactly.
that you give, how much of that dollar goes to the actual source, and how much goes to administrative fees and all the other stuff. And
Right.
the LLS is a very good, it's something like 80 cents out of the dollar or more.
It's high.
And there's some that are surprisingly bad.
Right.
Like
So do
some
your
are,
research.
Like nationally known ones. They're nationally known because they spend more money on advertising than they do on what they're trying to fix.
That's the point. So definitely do your research, because that is important with a lot of people who want to donate, because there's a lot of people that want to donate but don't.
Yeah, and I researched that before I agreed to do anything for the LLS. I wanted to know what that ratio looked like. 'Cause I didn't want to ask I'm asking my friends and people I know to give me money.
Right.
Like, give me money. I know you don't have much of it, but I would like some of it, and not for me, for somebody else.
True,
right? So I want to make sure that I'm asking for something that's going to get the money, as much of those dollars as we can, to where they're supposed to go.
Well, here's two sisters who definitely are part of the LLS group.
Oh yeah, they're in.
The sisters definitely love each other. So listen to their story.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. Hey, this is Don Lassen, and we're here at the Light the Night event. And who do we have?
Sheila
Sheila, what's your last name?
Dombrowski.
Okay, and so why are you here?
To support my sister who has CML.
And when was she diagnosed?
8 years ago, she was pregnant with my niece when she found out that she had CML.
Wow, and how's she doing now?
Amazing. And I could try to tell you what CML means, but I might just mess it all up. I think it's chronic myelogenic leukemia.
Myelogenius. She just wants to be a genius.
It's all about her. It's all about her.
And how many kids does she have?
She's got 3.
And she's still going strong, right? Because she's right over here filming.
She is.
So what does she mean to you? Don't get mushy.
I'm not. My world. She's my best friend. She's everything. She's my first go-to. She's my person.
She's that chick?
Yeah.
Okay.
She's my ride or die. She's my person.
Awesome. Well, thanks for coming on the show, and it's a wonderful event. We're going to see if we can get her to get on the mic here for a few words. She's worried about her hair. That means you're cured. So what's your name?
Kim.
Kim, and what's your last name?
Albert.
Yes. And you are the sister that has what?
CML, chronic myelogenous leukemia.
And so can you tell us more about what that disease is?
It is when your number 9 and your number 22 chromosomes switch and stay together, and that's what produces the leukemia gene.
That sounds way too scientific for me. Sounds bad, though.
Yeah, it's fine. It's what it is.
So you are cancer-free for how long?
I'm in remission with chemo pills for, I had Tobin is 5, so probably around 4.5 years, because I had to go off. Oh, sorry, Lucas. I had to go off my chemo pills to get pregnant with him.
Oh wow.
And then I stayed in remission until he was probably about 6 or 7 months.
I am currently taking chemo pills too to keep it under control, but who cares?
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Right?
That's all it is.
That's right.
Well, what does this night mean to you?
It's just magical of how many people come together to do so much stuff to raise people. Yes. Yeah, we'll talk and walk.
The police are coming.
I know. They're going to push us out. They're pushing us out. I know. So, yeah.
I don't care you got cancer.
I know. Get out. No. So it's amazing. It's just seeing everybody come together and see how many people raise money and who gets in battles with each other to beat each other's team to go into third place.
All I'm saying is I raised myself almost as much money as your whole team did.
Oh, whatever. Next year's going to be different.
Your team was way better than my team, though.
Competitive chemo. Well, I'm glad that you're here. I'm glad that I'm here, and it was a pleasure meeting you.
You too. Thank you so much, and we'll see you next year.
Yes, we will. And we are out.
We're out.
See you, Cam.
And we are back.
Hi.
So she has chronic
myelogenous
leukemia.
CML. It's a slowly progressing and super uncommon type of cancer, so I'm not surprised that Kim had to go get the rare form of the rare cancer.
Of course.
But it starts by this chromosome mutation. It's completely spontaneous. Nobody knows why. But these chromosomes flip over, and that's what you got. There's only like 200,000 people that get it in the year, so it's
Some
there's not a
old-
lot.
Some old X-Men type stuff.
Yeah,
Mutation.
right.
It's just
That's not the
ridiculous.
cool kind of mutation. No one gets a
nah.
mutation and gets superheroes powers.
That's what I'm talking about. Give
That's
me
a
the
mess.
cancer that gives me superpowers.
I want a cool mutation.
With my luck, I'll get some kind of lame superpowers, like I can stay asleep for a long time.
I've already got that superpower. I'm good at that. But next year, I was talking with O. Next year, our team is we're gonna have a dying laughing team.
Exactly.
For the Light the Night Walks. We're excited about that.
And we can put it up and try to raise some money
Heck
under
yeah.
under our show. And
Heck
yeah,
yeah,
we're
man.
going team dying laughing.
Heck yeah.
I think that's the route we're gonna go.
Take that, Kim.
So we got one last, but not least.
This is it Bruce Eckert?
I believe that's how you pronounce it.
Bruce Eckert is the last interview we got that night. So let's listen to his story.
So, who are you?
Bruce Eckert.
Bruce Eckert. So, you got a white lantern. What cancer did you have?
I have multiple myeloma. 8.5 years.
8.5 years. So, how were you diagnosed?
I was at the neurologist, and they took a full blood count,
Okay.
and they showed my protein. So they sent me to Lancaster Oncology.
Were you suspicious that something was going on, or?
No.
No, just
No.
snuck up on you?
Yep. Sure did.
I hate that.
Yeah.
It's really bad. So what was your treatment?
So I'm on a clinical trial at Hershey.
All right. Currently?
Yes.
All right.
Still on the same clinical trial, 8.5 years.
That's a long
Yep.
trial. You think they'd work it out by now?
I'm on Revlimid and Dex.
Okay.
Oh.
Same
And
thing I'm on.
yeah,
I'm not on the deck.
okay.
I'm on the Revlimid. What
Yep.
milligrams are you taking?
I'm down to 10 now.
10? I'm
10.
at 5.
Oh wow, that's
Yeah.
great. Yeah. Yep. So they were determining what would be the best initial treatment.
Right.
Revlimid Dex or Revlimid Velcade and Dex.
Okay.
And Revlimid Velcade and Dex won.
Yeah, that's
So
the
that's what
VRD.
they
That's what I had.
Yep. Yep. That's what they do for initial treatment now.
Yes.
Yep.
That's cool.
So they,
No stem cell transplant.
nope.
Just
No, I've just been on Revlimid and Dex
Go
the whole
ahead,
time.
buddy. Go ahead.
Yep.
That's very encouraging to someone who had the same disease, did the
Yeah.
same VRD, but I did get the stem cell.
Okay.
So I've done that in addition. And
now
I
you're
don't
on
know if you heard it.
maintenance.
Now I'm on maintenance. Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
Great.
Awesome. How many years have you been coming to this?
8.
This is our 8th year.
Oh, wow.
We're on the A and B team. with
Okay.
the Leukemia Lymphoma support group.
Okay.
And the A and B team in these 8 years has raised $75,000.
Wow. And you are
That's my wife,
Diane.
Diane.
Diane. Okay.
Bruce's wife.
All right. Cool.
Yeah.
So what does this mean to you being here?
Oh, hope and power.
Yeah.
Take the power back into our hands and say, we're going to conquer blood cancer.
Yes.
Definitely.
I love it.
And his attitude, his faith keeps us all going.
That helps a lot.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good faith and strong medicine.
That's
Yeah.
right. That's
Your
right.
mental state is just as important as the medicine.
That's right.
Yeah.
I believe.
Yes.
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 Awesome.
Cool. Thanks, guys.
So,
Nice to meet you.
you bet. Nice to meet you. And
So
good
we're-
luck to you.
Thank you.
So that was Bruce and his wife Diane.
Yep.
And
They got your stuff.
they got my stuff.
Man.
And when he started explaining, I know it sounded all muffled up because we were really excited. It was windy, it was cold, fireworks were going off.
They were pushing us off the bridge at that point. Like there was a cop, like, come on, go home.
Yeah,
You're
like
done.
we don't care. You got cancer. Get off
Get
of
off
the
the
bridge.
bridge.
But it was very interesting. He explained that he had multiple myeloma, obviously, and one of the things I noticed, he kept emphasizing clinical trials, and we all know what that definition. Clinical trials means it's something new, and it just was, it threw me off a little bit. And so when he started explaining that he was taking the VRD program, which is Velcade, Dex, and I don't know how to pronounce the full medical term for that one, and the Revlimid, I was thinking to myself, that's exactly what I was taking.
Okay.
But it dawned on me. I sort of had an epiphany later on. I do have those every 10 years or so.
Now, let's be honest. Was it your epiphany or was it Carrie's epiphany?
It was Carrie's. And but she brought to my attention as I was speaking about it. Here's a guy who, and for you to understand it, I have to explain the story. Here's a guy that keeps talking about clinical trial. He's still on a clinical trial in Hershey, the same place I got my treatment. And he's saying clinical trial, but he's saying 8 years ago. So the deep thing about it, and follow me if you can, the deep thing about it is when I first was diagnosed, they told me that 10 years ago, this cancer, this diagnosis was a death sentence.
Mm-hmm.
So then it hit me that, well, for this guy, yeah, it's still in his mind a clinical trial because he did it 8 years ago.
Right.
But the reality is that guy saved my life. His information put me into a position where now a clinical trial is no longer a trial.
Right. It's just what you do.
It's the process.
Yeah.
So that's deep when you think about it. And it just got me so emotional when I thought about it. And then I took it a step further and thought, well, hell, I'm sitting with that guy is Tim.
Right.
That's you.
Right.
For
not
somebody,
because we're both white guys.
No, not because you're both white, and certainly not sharing the same cancer. But if you think about it, that guy is my Tim.
Right. So hopefully in 10 years, I'll talk to somebody about this new treatment I got CAR-T, and he's like, dude, that's not new.
That's not new
That's the
at all.
stuff everybody gets.
That's what we do, brother.
And there's no more side effects.
And no more side effects. But do you see my point?
Yeah. Like that. Like you were saying, I just got to stay alive long enough for the medicine to catch up to the disease.
Right. For the technology.
For the technology, right? To catch up to it. Like
right.
And that's what happened. This guy started the process.
He was one of the guys that started the process because they asked me as well in the beginning to sign papers to say, hey, do you mind if we take the information from you and use it? I said, absolutely. What person doesn't do that?
I'm sure there's somebody.
But there's probably some people that should be a requirement.
Right, yeah. I mean, we got the Hershey. It's a teaching hospital. I figured
yeah, exactly.
they're going to use me to teach. And especially with me being the first case of this, like, I had no doubt they're going to look at my stuff.
It's true. I'm sitting with a guy, and not to, toot his own whistle, but it is really serious. You have started in Hershey,
mm-hmm.
the first one to get it done, the first successful one, which is always great.
Yeah.
It's always good. Any success is great. But the first one successful, and hopefully we'll have many, many more years with you, and they can take that information and hopefully perfect a process that one day they'll be talking about.
This will be off the shelf stuff.
This would be like some regular stuff.
And
You'll be able to administer it at home.
Even talk about that, like even now, stuff that was true when I started treatment just a year ago
Mm-hmm.
is no longer true. Like when I started treatment, they said if I got a bone marrow transplant first at
Mm-hmm.
Hershey, and it didn't work, I'd have to go somewhere else to get the CAR-T. And I
Mm.
just learned this yesterday talking to the med students. I told them that, and they're like, actually, that's not true anymore. So it's no longer true. Now, if I get a bone marrow transplant, it doesn't work, guess what? I can still stay at Hershey and get CAR-T. So a big part of that decision-making process is no longer relevant just a year later.
And that's the importance of that statement that I was told by Dr. Talamo in the very beginning, the first time I met my stem cell transplant doctor. He said, I'm just trying to get you to live long enough for the technology to catch up with the disease.
Yeah.
And that even falls suit in my process because I was originally told that once we did the stem cell, you would be on a 2-year maintenance plan, taking the Revlimid pill format every day, and then stop and just see how it goes. But what they discovered, and it hasn't even been 2 years since my diagnosis,
right,
is that they discovered it's not so cool to take you completely off and the cancer come back aggressive, come back and sometimes more aggressive.
Right.
And then you got to go through that whole process again. And as we all well know, chemo takes a hell of a toll on your body. So they found out it's better to, I hate to say this, slow grind
mm-hmm.
the poison and keep it at bay. So it makes sense. If you can get the cancer under control and then maybe slow grind and keep it at bay, why would you want to give it an opportunity to fester again?
To poke its head back up again.
Right, to rear its ugly head.
Yeah.
So it makes a lot of sense. So that no longer was the plan anymore. So now that's how I say I got to take chemo pills for the rest of my life. But maybe in a year or two, they might be saying, okay, you can take a break because you'll take this other whatever.
Right, or take a smaller dose, or this particular kind of chemo is better and it has less side effects.
Or go through this process and you won't even have to take these pills at all.
Yeah.
So you just never know.
It's amazing how fast, like even like my cousin's wife had a little skin cancer in her nose. They had to take a big chunk out of her nose. And so I got on Facebook, welcome to the club. It's really,
mm-hmm.
all that stuff. And somewhere in all those hundreds of comments, someone else said that, their husband just got CAR-T.
Mm.
And Emily, her name is Emily, pointed out to me and said, hey, you should connect with these folks. So he's up in Boston. Turns out he's doing the same treatment that I got that knocked me on my ass for 3 weeks, and I couldn't leave the hospital. He's doing it outpatient.
See?
Right? Like he took another pill.
Amazing.
That wiped out that cytokine release, the neurotype, all those big things.
The
that really,
fever
like,
issue.
The stuff that damn near killed me.
You was in intensive care.
Yeah, I was in intensive care for like a week. Like that stuff he's just doing in his living room because they got a way to manage the side effects. Like this stuff gets better and better and better and more effective and less uprooting and damaging as time goes on. It's amazing to see what happens.
And that's why Light the Night functions and what the LLS is doing and other organizations.
Right.
And most important, your donations. And I'll explain it to you the way I feel about it. Your donations, our donations, what you're doing is you're creating hope.
Mm-hmm.
And when you're in a situation like this, hope is all you have. It's the most important thing. You obviously have your faith, and your faith, your hope in God, or hopefully that's who you pray to,
right.
Not Jim Beam. But, your faith, but it just creates hope. And
right.
Hope is the most powerful thing in the world when you're facing adversity.
Yeah.
It's the only thing you can cling to when you're in a life and death situation, even if you don't have cancer.
Right. Just hope that you can get through this.
Hope you can get through this. And so those donations are huge. And it's a powerful thing how you can transform your dollars into something, manifest something to something bigger than you.
Right. Be part of something that's greater
way bigger than you
yourself. And I know when I was sick, and people kept asking me, "What can I do? What can I do? What can I do?"
Mm-hmm.
This is one of those things you can do.
Exactly.
Like, it's not all about money. We need more than that, but
right.
Cancer is also expensive.
Yeah,
the treatment, the research,
the
everything that goes along with
it.
It costs money. And people, like, you give the money to the LLS, you can make your dollars go awfully far. They've got a lot of ways to make that money work as hard as possible.
And like I think it was Laurel that went into practice because
Mm-hmm.
of her mom.
Yeah.
That's the other point that I think is important when you're faced with something like this. And I know it's a difficult situation, but to involve your children, or like you spoke to those students, and the one gentleman had somebody that died from cancer.
Yeah, his mother.
Mother. Here's the deeper thought, that when you do these events and you talk to folks and the children are there, some of these children get inspired right then and there.
Right.
And you just never know, that child could be the answer in the future.
Right. That whole trajectory of their life it could be completely different. They could be the ones that find the cure. Like they could be the ones that get the vaccine.
Point.
Like, yeah.
That's my point. That's how it goes.
Yeah.
How they get inspired, nobody knows. But I think this is the reason why it's important for, to have podcasts and communicate, and don't hide these things from young folks. Obviously not a baby, but I guess children that you can think can handle it, because you just never know how God works.
Yeah.
Your child or whoever could be the answer to save millions of lives 10 to 20 years from now.
Right. Who knows?
Who knows? But I think
that's a wrap, man.
I think with that one, we're going to let it go.
That's a good show.
I think that was a great show. I mean, we're being a little, I think we're being a little conceited here, but it was a great event. Light the Night was held up in York.
Mm-hmm.
LLS, Leukemia and Lymphoma Society.
Yep.
Big things, doing big things. We appreciate everyone that listens to the podcast.
Yes, please write in your comments, your questions, your concerns, all that stuff. We want to hear them. Don't forget, you can get us at dyinglaughingpodcast@gmail.com
Mm-hmm.
or at Dying Laughing on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and also a YouTube channel at Dying Laughing Podcast is there too. That'll have more content as we get more videos, but that stuff is coming.
Yep.
So please reach out to us. We want to hear from you guys. We want to hear what you have to say and your thoughts and all that.
So just remember, please subscribe. We're trying to build this, movement, this Dying Laughing movement.
Dying Laughing movement.
So please subscribe. Tell people to listen to it. Get them to subscribe. God, I can't even talk. It's that drink earlier. Subscribe.
Man, 3 hours ago.
Thanks again for listening to the Dying Laughing podcast. We appreciate you all. And to all, a wonderful, wonderful day.
Have a great week, guys. Thank you so much.